Bowie, Grano, anyone, my fellow Transformer fans, Monkey here, not for a review, just a little bit of a chat, and my point of view of something. I wanted to cover leader bots. Okay, so I just want to start from the beginning, and hopefully I'm not very good at articulating words, so hopefully you'll get the gist of what I'm going on about here. But I'm going to give you a couple of examples, okay? So first of all, let's start off with Optimus Prime, okay? Both him and Megatron are impressive nonetheless. Articulation for Optimus Prime, as well as a trailer that goes with him, very impressive. And in truck mode, you know who the leader is, or you get an idea of who the leader is against all of the bots. When he's in bot mode, yeah, I still think that is the case. Looking back at it, it is still quite a small toy, but remember, this toy was not designed to be a leader. It didn't really have a background. It was just a toy that held men inside in Diaclone. So yeah, or Microman, I think it was Microman. So yeah, that was the premise of it, and so they put this background behind it, and it still works as a leader. That's fine. Now, this is obviously the Takara Megatron, and so he is very impressive. But again, he didn't have a background that he was a leader of any army or anything. He was just Diaclone. He was a spy gun that turned into a robot kind of thing, and that was it. There was no background to him, so but it still fitted the bill. It was okay, yeah, it did fine. So when they decided to go for leaders to replace, they wanted to do something a bit more oomph in it. They realised that the truck thing was fine with Optimus Prime, but they added a trailer that transformed into an armor and made him more impressive. You can tell with Ultra Magnus that he is a leader bot. You put him in the army and he sticks out. He looks like a leader, you know, not primary colours, but, you know, American colours or British colours. You know, you see it's a leader. They changed the colours. It used to be what, black, red, and blue, dark blue or something. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, this looks like a leader toy. I don't have Galvatron. I would show him otherwise. But he's again a large bot that looks like a leader. Moving on. I'm not showing you them all. I'm just showing some examples. G2. This is actually, well, you know, this, I just reviewed him last week. Battle Convoy. Again, a large bot, good articulation. The trailer on him turns into a battle station. He is big and hefty. He has some gimmicks that can work. It's all good, and he looks like a leader. Again, very good. G2 Galvatron, behave yourself, Jim. G2 Megatron, another good bot, very big, chunky. He fires projectiles from here. He looks like a leader. He is a leader. Okay. One more example before we get to the point. Beast Wars Optimus Primal. Now he is out of scale. He is an Ultra. He was the largest of the Maximals in Wave 1. He shouldn't have been the largest. Rhinox should have been the largest. But because he's a leader, they wanted to show him who the leader was. And that's probably why they did it. They know they'd sell more Optimus Primals than they would Rhinoxes. That's probably why. And I know I'm being sort of biased, and I'm showing off because I just got there, and it's an amazing. Look at the thing! Look at the awesomeness that is transmitted to Megatron. Yes. Oh, right. The point is, he's big, he's beautiful, he looks badass. He looks like the baddest mother ever. Okay, he leads a bunch of badasses. He should look like a total badass. Yes. My point. Not done. Now, even though this is quite a nice bot, This part here is the only weakness in my view. Also, when was the last time Optimus Prime had a trailer? Cybertron? Cybertron. Yeah, that was the last time he had a trailer. He hasn't had a trailer for ages. We haven't had a proper Optimus Prime in ages. I'm not pointing out the Orion Pats because he's not a leader, he's just a soldier. So he doesn't count. Megatron, now they've obviously scaled down the deluxe version. I mean, he's close to Scout now, isn't he? I'm not making a point of that. That's not my point. My point is, leaders are not big in the classics, Generations, stroke, everything else. Okay, they're not the strongest point. It's a good line what they did. I'm gonna just call it all classics and all that. I'm just gonna call it Generations from now on. But the Generations line have some Voyagers, and they market them out to what they think is best. And there's some corkers like Lugnut and Springer, Sandstorm. But sometimes you need to have a leader be a Voyager, and Megatron is definitely one of them. Okay. Now, whether that's due to his alt mode, I don't know. I mean, they're reusing him as Dirge, aren't they? Redoing him as Dirge. So that is probably why he's this size. If he was Voyager, they wouldn't have done a Dirge for him, would they? So I suppose that makes sense in a run. Why don't they do the tank Megatron? My second point is this: the tank Megatron. But I'll come back to that in a minute. Optimus Prime needs a proper Optimus Prime. I don't need a proper Optimus Prime. We need a proper Autobot leader who's big, chunky, who you can get your hands on and do things. What's your view on that? Do you think that the latest line's lacking in size? And is that because of, prices and the economy and things like that? Would you pay a bit more to get that leader that's got the chunk back in? I would, if it was available. My second point, Megatron. Megatron, as we know him and as we love him, he is a beautiful toy, even though he's quirky, shall we say. He is a gun, and when transformed, he looks like a realistic gun, especially with this chrome plating. And only in Japan was it sold as is. Even in the States, they put an orange plastic cap on the end to show. And they made it bigger than normal because if it was the right size, it would have been too realistic. I say get rid of the gun mode totally. Let's just put a tank in there. They've had plenty of tanks. One of the best Megatrons I find, set aside from Beast Wars, is Armada. I find Armada Megatron a very, very good toy. It's an H tank, but I'm sure they can come up with something better. Make a leader. Let's get a Megatron that's a tank. Forget about the gun now. The gun's gone. It's not going to happen. Not with what's going on these days. It's just not going to happen. Let's get a Megatron into a tank, and let's make him Voyager, and let's make him a threat that looks like a badass threat. Yeah, don't make him a jet. Megatron's not a jet. It don't work. He doesn't work. He's not memorable as a jet. A tank, definitely. We need something that represents something that is unstoppable. You can shoot a jet down. You can't a tank. It looks imposing. It looks threatening. Yeah. He's not fast and sleek and deadly. He is unstoppable. That's how we're supposed to put it. And a tank is good for that. So let's move it to that. Let's step away from the gun totally. Just so we can have a Megatron on the shelves. That is good. What do you think? Do you think we should forget about the gun totally now? go to a tank so we can have a good Megatron, because we haven't had a good Megatron since G2 Megatron, if you ask me. Well, there's some good Megatrons. There is some good Megatrons, but we haven't had a decent one lately. Transformers Prime 1 is much to be desired, to be honest. I think that's the problem, really. I think the Megatron of Transformers Prime, because that's the latest one at the moment. But also the classics generations, they're not covering the leaders very well. I mean, the toys are okay. It's a bit this, but that's my point anyway. What do you guys think? Reply to this, please. Comment below the bottom. Don't forget to like it if you like it. I mean, it could be a pile of shit, this, and then that's fair enough. But if you like it, click down to the bottom now. Go on, do it. You can do it. Click down to the bottom, like it. Type. Use fingers. Take keyboards. Say hello. Say what if you agree with me. If I'm talking shit. No, you want to keep the gun. Why do you think the gun's good? What do you agree with me with the Voyager size? Do you agree with me with the mode of Megatron? Do you agree with me that we don't have a large leader figure? We need a playset. We're missing a playset. Give me that playset, Hasbro, you cheap bastard!